Hello. Welcome to the next Lukozer retro game review video. I don't sound particularly happy, I suppose. Well, you wouldn't be happy either if you were about to subject yourself to the same thing that I am about to subject myself. This is Armalyte for the Commodore Amiga. Now let's establish something off the bat. I hate this game. I also hate the Commodore 64 version. Now I know I'm in a small minority when it comes to hating the Commodore 64 game. I am quite, freely admit that technically, yes, it's impressive the way it's all been put together. And the music in the Commodore 64 version is fantastic, and I do have to stress that it's the Commodore 64 version that has the fantastic music. The Amiga version does not have fantastic music. What you are hearing is the very epitome of fucking generic shit electronic music. And yet, this is without doubt the best thing about this game by a fucking mile. So this was written by Arc Developments and was published by Thalamus in 1991. Now Arc Developments are the people who brought us, among other things, the Amiga conversion of R-Type 2. That was released just 2 months before this, and between the release of R-Type 2 and sort of, getting Armalyte finished, the various members of Arc Developments all sat round. They had this quite important meeting, and they were saying that they were getting a lot of feedback about R-Type 2, particularly about the difficulty, but it was easy to get a bit mixed up as to the sort of feedback they were getting, and they eventually concluded that the reason for all the complaints regarding the difficulty was that the game was too easy. And they were thinking, well, the last thing we want to do is make a game that's easier than R-Type 2, because that would be taking the piss. We want games to be challenging. So, if let's say, like you've got a difficulty scale here, so you have, say, at the 0 end, you've got a game like Crazy Cars 2 on the Commodore 64. So ludicrously easy you could fucking complete it blindfolded. At the other end of the scale you have 10, which is a game that is so apocalyptically difficult that there is more chance of you witnessing Elvis Presley landing a UFO on top of the head of the Loch Ness Monster than there is of you getting off the first level. Well, R-Type 2 is at 11 on that scale. This is somewhere around the 300 quadrillion on that same scale. So, as much as I want to delay this even further, let's get a game underway. Now, the first thing that you may notice is that it takes a fucking ridiculously long time for the game to load, because first of all you have to wait for that intro sequence. Now that animation sequence is there at the start of every single level. I only know this because I've seen videos of people playing this game. Well, I've seen a video. And it's always the same animation, you just see different backgrounds. So here we are then, I've picked up a speed up and I've picked up a P for power up. So now we're trying to get through around here. I don't want to sound like I'm drawing attention to it, but getting through that first bit there, which I just did, that was by far the best I've ever done. So now right, I've got these things here, and what the fucking hell hit me there? Right, anyway, so here we go, carrying on. I'm on my last life already, so I have this extra weapon again. So yeah, got that, and I've been fucking blown up again by a pod that you're supposed to shoot to get an extra fucking weapon. But that's game over already, okay? Now we've got to sit here and wait for this game over intro, or whatever you want to fucking call it, game over animation. So you press fire to skip it. Now you've got to wait some more while the game effectively completely reloads. Why they decided to program it in such a way, I do not know. So if you are shit at this game, like the entire population of the world is, it takes you fucking ages between, you know, losing your last life of your previous go and starting the next one, because you've got to sit through this again, and then you've got to, you know, wait for the level to load. And then once, you know, you've lost your third life 20 seconds later, you've then got to wait for the whole fucking game to reload again, but only after it's finished loading the game over animation. So, right, here we go again. I keep going the wrong fucking way. I don't want to go this way. Because, yeah, I fly into those fucking things. So, here we go. Right, down. And, yeah, so, right, we're already on to the last fucking life. Right, so I've got to speed up. That's not going to do me any fucking good. Fuck me, I'm amazed I got through there. Right, so I'm up this far again. So again I am, this is pretty much as far as I've ever got. Right, let's go up here. And I don't know what fucking blew me up there, but there you go. So again, game over. I didn't even last 1 minute. Now, just about every single go is like that. Yeah. Now, let me elaborate on something. As I've already said, I fucking detest this game. I also fucking hate the Commodore 64 version. While I say there, technically, yes, okay, yeah, I can see aspects of the Commodore 64 version and see why people think it's so great. But there are several reasons why I hate the Commodore 64 version. Firstly, and it's also something that affects this, there are always, or nearly always, vast areas that you cannot fly through for whatever reason, but the backgrounds take up huge amounts of space. So you've got all this screen space here, and you can fly in this like tiny little section somewhere near the bottom. The second thing is the power-up system that it uses. As you know, I'm very much old school. I like old school shoot 'em ups, and the key to old school shoot 'em ups and what makes them great is their simplicity, or at least their simplicity insofar as how to actually play it. Now the Armalyte on the Commodore 64 decided, you know, whoever it was who was writing it, they decided, no, we don't want a simple power-up system, we've got to make it fucking complicated. So you get all this bullshit about, oh yes, right, if you pick up this particular power-up, and then, you know, if you're batteries that are connected to your C-class fucking super weapon are then upgraded to, you know, the Type 2 Mark III blaster, which will then, you know, connect to the engines of the you know, secondary vessel and its secondary power systems. You will then get a shield which will last 5 seconds, providing that you do bloody fucking blah blah blah, and it just goes on. And I just think, look, just drop a fucking, you know, make it something like in Salamander, just drop the fucking power up, pick it up, boss, you got a new weapon. Keep it simple, which the Commodore 64 version of Armalyte doesn't do, and it fucks me off. Why do I need a fucking degree in engineering to play a fucking shoot 'em up? And before any fucking cunt decides they're going to write this in the comment, yes, I am fucking exaggerating, alright? I know I'm going to have some fucking moron come along saying, it's not that fucking complicated, you fucking cunt, and all this. Oh, fuck off. Can you tell this game is fucking winding me the fuck up? So anyway, so you've got the Commodore 64 version there. Those are the two main reasons that I hate it. Oh, actually, throw in the third reason. It's fucking hard. And then you get this. Aside from having the same title and being released by the same publisher, that is as far as this Amiga version goes when it comes to having anything in common with the Commodore 64 version. The two games don't even play alike. On the plus side, the Powerup System on this version has been greatly simplified. It is a case of, you know, pick up the fucking pod, boss, you've got that weapon. The mega weapons are still here, but they are just done exactly the same as in R-Type. Hold down the fire button and you get this blast, and that's it. There's no choosing your fucking mega weapon and all this bollocks. You just, I think later on your mega weapon can be changed if you pick up a certain power up. So, okay, yes, the power-up system has been simplified. Great. But everything else, the difficulty level has been set to, you know, complete fuck off you cunt levels. And we still had these huge areas that cover up, you know, like 80% of the screen that you cannot fly through. And so this tiny fucking pissant area that you can fly through, then they say, right, we'll have all these ships coming along there so that you've got to blow them up, otherwise you're going to, you know, you can't get through that area. Which means they then bring in another aspect of a fucking shoot 'em up that I cannot stand. This is particularly prevalent in R-Type and R-Type 2, but it's also prevalent in here. The weapons you've been given are so shit that there is hardly anything in the game that you can destroy with one shot. So even though, again, it's shoot 'em ups, so you shoot it and it blows up. No, not here. You've got to shoot it about 3 or 4 times before it blows up. By which point it's right on top of you and bang, you're fucking dead. I mean, this game comes on 2 discs. I do not know anybody who had this game who has ever used the second disc. And I'm not exaggerating there. I do not know anyone who ever actually used the second disc. Oh, actually, I'll tell a lie, I know one person who did, but that's because he used trainers. So, right. I'm just going to quickly do something with this game, and then we'll get another go underway. Right, well, we are back then. Wasn't that fun? Now, I'm sure you don't need me to explain to you what it is I've done, but, well, you'll find out soon enough anyway. So let's get another game of this fucking pile of fucking shit underway. So, again, you have to wait for ages for the, just for that. And now we have to wait for the actual level itself to load. sometime today would be nice. Right, here we go. Right, so, oh, look at that. Managed to get through there okay now. Right, so, blow those fuckers up, and there we go. Right, so I'm doing pretty good here. Yes, of course, I fucking activated the trainers. I need to be able to actually show parts of the game. And let's face it, using trainers is the only way I or anybody else is able to do so. There's a video, it's a long play video of somebody completing this game. I think it's on the Zeus channel, and they have used trainers. It's the only way they are able to show anybody anything in the game. So here we go again. When you look at that tiny little space I'm supposed to fit through, then through here, more ships that all have to be shot about 3 or 4 times, then all these slot. You've seen some sort of like drips that are coming off some of those like stalactites earlier in the level. Every single drip will kill you. It's just fucking bullshit. How, you know, did they really think that by setting the difficulty level at that, you know, completely fucking, you know, bullshit, fuck off hard difficulty level, that would get people to want to actually play this fucking pile of fucking gonads? Then you got those irritating noises whenever you hit something that's indestructible, you know, like alright, what does this do? Alright, so I've got a new fucking weapon. See, this one looks like it might be fucking useful, but it doesn't look like I've got the I've been given some sort of like auto fire thing, so I can't use the fucking mega weapon. See these drips here, any of those drips touch you, you're dead. And yet look at this tiny fucking pissant area to fly through and avoid the drips. Oh, fuck off. Are you fucking serious? And on top of that, like, this level bears no resemblance at all to any level of Armalyte on the Commodore 64. I've seen several videos, say, of Armalyte on the Commodore 64 from people who all say the game's fucking great, but none of the levels I've seen look like this. And it's not just the changes in the graphics, the entire layout is different. And not only that, the way you play the game is different. Now I know at some point someone is going to say, oh yes, but it's because they've done something to get around it. Look at the title of this game. On the Amiga, it's called Armalyte The Final Run. And someone is bound to say, yes, because it's a different game, it's like a sequel to the Commodore 64 version. No, fuck it isn't. They just tacked that bollocks on because they realised, okay, we are never going to get away with calling this game Armalyte because it is absolutely fuck all like the actual game that people wanted, you know, people remember on the Commodore 64. Because of course the Commodore 64 version was released 3 years before this one came along, so it took Thalamus 3 years to go from the Commodore 64 Armalyte to this fucking load of shite. Alright, okay, we all know that you know, Thalamus, as good as their reputation was anyway on the Commodore 64, and I make no secret that most Thalamus games I can't stand. I like Hunter's Moon, which is great admittedly, and I like Retrograde, and I like Quedex, and I like Hawkeye if I'm in the right mood. So they're all the Commodore 64 games, but their Amiga games are just absolute shit out of a dog's arse from the word go. Everything about them, it's just complete fucking bollocks. I mean, they're worse than Houston in that regard. So I mean, look at the graphics here. These graphics look like they've come from a fucking okay, from an Amiga in about 1987. I mean, those backgrounds and the sort of like, you know, all the sort of plant-like stuff at the top and bottom. The graphics there have the quality of fucking Ganymede, which I reviewed not that long ago. I mean, the game is a fucking pile of shit, but in terms of its graphics quality, it's better than this. So yeah, I've got to get through that small gap there. Tiny fucking, you know... Oh. I mean, they really are taking the fucking piss with releasing this. So anyway, let's get the fucking review underway. Oh, and just to also add, because I can't remember if I've said this or not. I mean, I know it'd be a real rarity for me to repeat something, you know, a million fucking times in one of my videos. But yes, if you, you know, are rather fed up with me being able to get through this game because I've got the trainers on, at the end of this review I will include several other attempts that I made to you know, try and play this game. So yeah, you'll still get your you know, your amusement, I suppose, from watching me fail fucking miserably in those. So yeah, I'll tack them onto the end of this review. So anyway, let's, as I've mentioned the word review, let's get on with the review then. Presentation. The presentation is fucking shit. The title page is staggeringly bland. There are no graphics of any kind on it. I mean, even the Commodore 64 version has fucking, you know, bobs, you know, blitter objects, which is a stalwart of Amiga demo scene, you know, intros and what have you. But no, they didn't put it on the Amiga version. So the Commodore 64 version features fucking blitter objects, but the Amiga version doesn't. I mean, fuck it, yeah. The intro music is staggeringly shite. It is the ultimate example of, you know, generic, bland electronic music. It's absolute fucking bollocks. Was that the second boss destroyed? He was easier than the first. So yes, and then I mean, you have this same boring fucking you know, animation at the start of every level. So yeah, the presentation is shit. Graphically, it's shit. I mean, the graphics, like I say, they look like an Amiga game that was written in 1987, and this is 1991. Yeah, there is absolutely no redeeming qualities in the graphics at all. Audio, again, the audio is fucking shit. The music on the title page and in game is fucking coma inducing. It is staggeringly bland. It's just, I mean, the Commodore 64 version, the music is fucking superb, especially on the title screen. I've got the Armalyte music on my you know, retro game music playlist. I may think that the game's shit, but I think the music is fucking fantastic. The music is fucking bollocks. So then there's the sound effects, which are mind-bogglingly generic and bland at best. I mean, listen to these fucking pathetic explosions. And then that fucking irritating sort of like screeching noise, whatever it's meant to be, whenever you shoot anything that's indestructible. So, yeah, horrible at best. or rather, you know, forgettable at best, and just fucking horrendous at worst. I mean, look at the layout of this fucking level. Are you supposed to get through this level without trainers, for fuck's sake? So here we are on the fucking boss again. What am I supposed to shoot here? These fucking heads. And now this fucking thing up here, I suppose. So I'm not even attempting to actually play the game now. I'm just so fucking... So anyway, so on to the final part then, the gameplay. Well, shock horror, the gameplay is shit. It bears no... Fuck me! Please insert disc 2. I'm actually going to have to use disc 2. Yep, disc 2 entered and used. That's fucking amazing. So anyway, yeah, the gameplay. I mean, let's take the original Armalyte for the Commodore 64 and flush it down the Kazi. Instead, what we'll release is a staggeringly generic shoot 'em up with absolutely no redeeming features whatsoever. And then set the difficulty level up to complete fuck off levels. You know, how could that possibly fail? I mean, I've not read any, you know, professional reviews in magazines of this game from back in the day. I'd like to see one though, because well, surely this game was just fucking ripped apart in every fucking review that was written, because it is just staggeringly shite. It wasn't that long ago I reviewed an Amiga game where I said I think it could be the worst Amiga game I've ever played. I think it was Cool World. Well, this is definitely up there with Cool World. Is it worse? Yes, I'd say this is worse than Cool World. Now, if that isn't fucking stinging criticism, I don't know what is. This is worse than Cool World, for fuck's sake. So, what do I give it as a rating? Fucking yeah. Yeah, it gets fuck off 0 out of 10. Actually, no, it doesn't get 0 out of 10. This goes way into the minuses. Yeah, minus 9.9 out of 10. I'm sure it could have been worse, but fuck only knows how. And if it could have got worse, then, well, I would never have wanted to even see it for an instant. Do not, under any circumstances, play this game. It is an unplayable fucking heap of shit. It has no redeeming qualities of any kind. It doesn't even get close to having any redeeming qualities. It's fucking insulting that Thalamus would even consider this fit for release. You almost got the impression that Thalamus just did not care about the Amiga, or certainly didn't care about you know, Amiga versions of its Commodore 64 games, because this is just... I don't know who it was who programmed the Commodore 64 version. I know it was some lot who called themselves Cyberdyne Systems, and I think Armalyte was the only game they ever finished. But I mean, to release this and then you know, give it the same title as that Commodore 64 game, even though I hate the Commodore 64 game, I think it's insulting to the developers of that Commodore 64 title to give this that same name and try to pass this off as you know, another version of the game that they had created, because this is just, it is offensive to those people. So I've had more than enough of this fucking shit. I am not playing this anymore. So yeah, that is Armalyte for the Amiga. One of the biggest heaps of shit I've ever had to fucking sit through on any computer you care to mention. And yeah, every insult and whatever that you can think of, this game deserves it, and it's just crashed, which is the perfect actual answer to that one. So that is, yeah, minus 9.9 out of 10. I actually consider this software failure to be the best feature of the game. So that brings this review to an end, and we'll see you at the next one. In the meantime, here's some more of me completely fucking up trying to play this game without trainers. Oh, there we go. Right, so how are we doing now? Well, I've already lost the first life, so it's pretty much business as usual. Yeah. So there we go again, and lost third life straight away. So yeah, it's pretty much the same as usual. Anyway, that's the audio test done. Right, so here we go then. Right, first attempt. I've already actually lasted longer than I usually do. So I've got yeah, I just so I'm trying to get through these cunts again, but now, yeah, this is back to normal. So here we go, trying to blow these fuckers. I just get the feeling that they can't actually be destroyed. Anyway, so I've got to try and get through there, but that, and there you go. So game over. That lasted, what, seconds? Anyway, so it has now finally fucking loaded. So here we go again. Right, all this fucking shit. So right, so again, I'm trying to blow those things up. Right, does that mean then that I have to go this way? Well, let's try it then. So here we go, right down here. S. I think that's a speed up. There's no way of getting through those fucking things. All right, let's try going through the fucking middle then, shall we? Right, well, yeah. What the fucking hell are you supposed to do? I mean, what really takes the piss though is the fact that the game, right, you spend more time waiting for the game to load than you do playing it. Fucking hell, I actually got through there, but oh, okay. Which means it's going to send me back to a fucking restart point, which means I'm back here and now I've been fucking blown up again. And I fucking really am starting to get the serious fucking arseache with this pile of shit. Right, so where the fuck am I supposed to go? Oh, fucking what? Of all of the floors though, the one that absolutely fucks me off more than anything else is the fact that, okay, the game is fucking ridiculously hard, but you've then got to wait a fucking age to be able to start the game again, because it's practically got to reboot from the beginning. I've actually made it past that first fucking restart point, but now I've got to try and get through wherever this fucking area is. That didn't give me fuck all nothing. Now I've got these cunting things again, and I've flown into the fucking scenery again just for a change. And this, what the fuck happened there? That thing shot at me, and I'm sure it fucking hit me, but I have had enough, shall we say.